Good morning, athletes. Today we're going to be working on our foot strength and flexibility program. You'll need a ball. It could be a massage ball, a lint ball, a foam ball, something little that we can use with the foot, something to grab, so perhaps you could use your ball or your TheraBand, and thirdly, a TheraBand. Let's get started.
Today we're going to talk about what is a point and what is not. It's very common to see scrunched toes under the foot. Rather, we actually want to have a pointed foot and not scrunched toes. How do you get a pointed foot? Think about flexing the toes as hard as you can and point the foot only, keeping the toes flexed. This is also known as a demi-point. From there, you're going to roll through the foot, push through the arches, and try to get the largest arc on the top of the foot that you can. Try to squeeze those heels and the balls of the feet together. Keep pushing down into the floor to keep rounding through the top of the foot. Good job, guys. Same exercise again, just a different view. You're going to flex and point that foot, and you're going to flex so hard that you want to try and get those toes to your shins. Lock out the knees, try and flex so that the heel begins to lift off the floor. Keep pushing through the top of the feet. Keep the toes flexed. And then you begin to point through the toes. Let's get those feet warmed up. Feet together in a parallel position. You're going to sweep your foot across the floor, move from a demi-point to a point. And back. Take it to the other side. This is a slow motion, slow roll through. We're simply working our demi-point in motion. From here, we're going to prepare to turn out into first position. When we're turning out the feet, we're always turning out from the femur and the hips. We don't want to be twisting any ankles, twisting any knees. Simply turn out through the hips, squeeze the feet together, and we're going to sweep it forward. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand up really tall through the supporting leg. Push through the heel. It's going to allow you to lift that hip so that you can slide the foot easily through. It'll allow you to glide rather than getting stuck. Taking it to the back. Don't hold my technique against me here, guys. I am no ballerina. We're simply just getting those muscles moving, the blood flowing, articulating the feet. And the other side. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. To the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got this, guys. Take it to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What you may notice here is that my body is not leaning to the side. That is because I'm pushing through the supporting foot as hard as I can to lift that hip. To pull up through the hip, try and lift those obliques and let the foot slide. Use a bar or a chair if you need. It will help you stabilize and actually learn to stabilize your torso better for movement. Even ballerinas still use their bar. See how much easier it is to simply glide that foot forth and back. Good job, you've got this. Repeat the same exercise in second position. Second position simply means heels not touching. Squeezing tight through those legs. Think about really hyperextending that knee, and then the inner part of the knee. Think about trying to get that little muscly part there to turn out to the side. And 2, and 3, and 4. Think about your center being your third toe in line with your nose. Taking it to the side for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And swapping sides. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good job, guys. Staying in second position, we're going to start bending through those knees, also known as a plie to bend. When we bend through the knees, I want you to think about scooping that pelvis up to the sky, getting a nice long back. From here, we want to try and hold that position as we begin to squeeze the legs back to their original extended position. From here, we're going to lift those toes off the floor. It's going to allow our calf to relax, which helps the heels sink deeper and will increase your flex. Keep lifting the toes, sink deep into those heels. Keep scooping that pelvis under, ribs and hips tuck in nice and tight. Flat back. Thinking about trying to push the lumbar spine, that small curve there, all the way back. Trying to eradicate that curve. For our next exercise, you're going to need a ball. We're going to squeeze it in nice and tight between those ankles. Originally, I started with a fancy Pilates ball, found that it wasn't quite the right size. This one is perfect and it's simply $1 from the dollar store. Holding the ball nice and tight between the ankles, we're going to work towards a releve, which simply means to lift the heels. In order to do this, we need to squeeze those legs nice and tight, get it firm, and lift the heels. You're not allowed to let that ball drop. That's going to keep the legs nice and active as well as the ankles. And 4, and 5, 6. Keep tucking that pelvis under, ribs and hips together, squeezing nice and tight through those ankles and calves. We're going to repeat the same exercise turned out. Good job, athletes. One more and we're all done. Beginning in parallel, we're going to work our arches and the top of our feet in this next exercise. From here, we're going to lift our foot into a demi-point, and then we're going to roll over the tops of the toes. This should activate a deep stretch through the top of the foot. demi-point, and close. Taking it to the other side, demi-point, roll over the top of the foot. Keep actively trying to get as much of the foot on the floor as you can. From here, we move back into our demi-point. Focus on those arches. Once again, push through the top of the foot. Use your toes as leverage to push into the floor. Keep pushing through the top of that foot. We're going to actively hold each position for 8 seconds. From here, think about articulating the foot, each bone, each metatarsal. Work on trying to create space in each one. Continue to try and actively lift those arches. We can't get lazy here, guys. Otherwise, we're not going to get those results. I'm not simply lifting my heel. I'm using all of the muscles in my feet to try and push my foot into that beautiful point. Keep an eye on any sickling ankles there. We don't want them falling out to the side. Once again, think about that third toe leading the center of the foot. You can use this same positioning when you're doing your splits, and you'll find your splits will be straighter than straight. I'm going to give you a different point of view just so you can see how it looks side on. This one exercise for me is the game changer. If you could only do one exercise out of this whole program every day, I recommend that this is the one. I honestly do these exercises when I'm laying in bed at night before I go to sleep. We will be doing some more top of the foot exercises, and I'm not gonna lie, they are pretty brutal. Take this one easy, we're just getting started. Repeating the same exercise again, we're going to take it in first position, which is turned out from the hips, heels together, unless you have hyperextended knees like me. Keep working that point, keep pushing the top of the foot down. Actively use those toes on the floor as leverage to get deeper into the arches of your feet. Demi-point, roll over the top of the foot, demi-point, and close. We're going to repeat the same exercise in third position. From your first position, you're simply going to slide one foot behind the other so that the heel is in the middle of the back foot. I'll show you what third position looks like in a few different angles. From here, you can see that the back foot is directly behind the front heel, and it hits right in the center. Let's begin. Demi-point, roll over the top of the foot. To keep working the foot, the arches and the muscles, we're going to take some longer holds as we go through a sequence of flexed feet to demi-point, rolling over the top of the foot to demi-point and close. Changing our working leg to the back foot, make sure that your stability leg, that is your front leg, You're pushing down through that heel so you can begin to elongate through those hips so that the transfer of weight is smooth. And demi-point, close, demi-point, roll over the top of the foot, push the top of the foot down into the floor, keep curling those toes back, demi-point and close. Stay strong through the torso. Think about the other parts of the body you can be working right now. For instance, you can be working that trunk stability for your extensions.